Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am so excited to be doing a book and bookish haul. This is going to include a bunch of stuff that I got for Christmas, and then over the last month I've got a whole stack of books that I'm planning on getting through this year, as well as a few fun bookish themed items. So I guess I'll start with the bookish themed items. 3 of them were gifts to me, and then one grouping I purchased myself. So we will start right there. So first up, I want to introduce y'all to a Stranger Dream bookmarks. These are my latest purchase for myself. So I got a cute little Stephen King right here, an Edgar Allan Poe, and a Creature from the Black Lagoon. And these are really fun. They're like $6 to $7 each. They're really cute. I believe they're double-sided and they all have these little tassels, which is super fun. And I really like fun, funky bookmarks, so I thought this would be really cute and a way to help support small businesses. Next up are these awesome writing gloves. My sister got me these, so I'm not 100% sure where they're from. I know that all 3 of these Christmassy items are from Etsy. My sister and my mom are really into like supporting small businesses, so all of this is from Etsy. But these are gloves that you're supposed to write, or you're supposed to wear as you're like writing your own book to inspire you, which I think is really, really fun. Not the most practical things in the world, but definitely really, really cute. And I'll probably wear them in like the fall because they are, you know, a little stylish and a little like Halloween-y and fun. But they do have this cute little raven up here, which I really like, and then the rest of it is the actual words to the poem The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. So I am a huge Edgar Allan Poe fan, as you can tell. So I'm really excited about that. And then the next 2 Christmas gifts I got, I am so excited about. The first one is this Overlook Hotel hoodie. I freaking love this. I really, really, really want to go to the Stanley Hotel out in Colorado, which is the hotel that not only inspired the book The Shining, but it also is where they filmed The Shining. So the Stanley Hotel is actually the Overlook, and apparently there's a bunch of like Stephen King touristy things you can do there, so I'm really, really happy about this. Okay, and then last but not least, let's see. My parents got me these. They're little red rum bookmarks. They're from a metalworker in Etsy. I will try and link her shop down below. I don't remember the name of it, but I do really, really love these. They're really weighty, they're really sturdy, they're super cute, and I cannot wait to use them. I'm actually installing bookshelves soon, like hanging floating bookshelves or whatever they are, so I can put those on them. Because as you can see, my bookshelves behind me getting a little crowded, don't really have too much room for more book ends. Oh, and inside it is Knob Creek Metal Arts made the red rum. Yeah. They are based in Kentucky, it looks like. Oh, I put this somewhere. So yes, Knob Creek Metal Arts made the red rum. Okay, so now let's dive into the book haul. This is what I'm really most excited about. So we'll start off with this. I've talked about Ronald Malfi a couple times on my channel now, but this is supposed to be his best book by far. It's really hard to find because it's been out of print for 5 years now or something like that. I found this on Amazon after doing a lot of digging. When I ordered it, it was supposed to be a first edition hardbound signed copy. When it showed up, it wasn't. It was an advanced reader's copy in paperback. So I'm hoping that this is pretty true to the original. I know sometimes ARCs will have like minor edits and stuff, or like not all the information, or like the forewords and stuff. So I hope this is pretty good. I've never had an ARC before. It's kind of cool that I was able to get one, I think. So I'm really, really excited about that. And for those of you who don't know, this book is, I'll read the premise for you. In the fall of 1993, the quiet suburb of Harding Farms is shocked when children begin to vanish, and one is found dead near December Park, a great sweeping expanse that is sunken below the streets and surrounded on 3 sides by vast woodland, a place children believe is haunted. Newspapers call the abductor the Piper because he has come to lead children away, while kids whisper darker names for him in the school halls. Angelo Mazzone and his friends discover a link to the dead girl and take up the search for the killer, vowing to stop the Piper's reign of terror. Their teenage pledge becomes a journey of self-discovery and an odyssey into the darkness of their own hometown hell on Earth. So yeah, really excited about this. This guy on Instagram named Monty_reads. I'll put his stuff down below, who you guys should definitely follow. He's one of my favorite bookstagrammers out there. And he highly recommended this book last year, so I went on a journey to find it, and I'm so happy I finally did. Alright, so then, for Christmas, my mother got me Peter Straub's Ghost Story. I've heard that this is one of the scariest books ever written. I've heard that it's a classic horror story, and I'm really, really excited. I've never read anything by Peter Straub before, but I'll read the back for you. So it is, what is the worst thing you've ever done? In the sleepy town of Millburn, New York, 4 old men gather to tell one another stories. Some true, some made up, all of them frightening. A simple pastime to divert themselves from their quiet lives. But one story is coming back to haunt them in their small town. A tale of something they did long ago. A wicked mistake, a horrifying accident, and they are about to learn that no one can bury the past forever. So really, really, really excited to read that one. Okay, so then I have The Devil All the Time by Donald Ray Pollock, which is now a Netflix movie with Tom Holland and Sebastian Stan. It's very good, and it made me want to read this because I didn't realize it was a book before. So this is, in backwoods of Ohio, Willard Russell's wife is at death's door. No matter how much he drinks, prays, or sacrifices animals at his prayer log. Meanwhile, his son Arvin is growing up. From a kid bullied at school into a man who knows when to take action. Around them swirl a nefarious cast of characters, a demented team of serial killers, a spider-eating preacher, and a corrupt local sheriff, all braided into a riveting narrative of the grittiest American grain. So this is supposed to be like a very, very southern gothic kind of story. Horror in like realism instead of the supernatural, which I'm really excited about, so definitely gonna jump into this one sooner rather than later, I think. Next up is Stephen King's 11/22/63. This is a doorstopper of a book. I've been super excited to read this for a very, very long time. I've heard it's one of Stephen King's best books ever. And I know that he did tons and tons and tons of historical research to get this as factually accurate as possible when concerning JFK in the light of the supernatural. So it says, life can turn on a dime or stumble into the extraordinary as it does for Jake Epping, a high school English teacher in a Maine town. While grading essays by his GED students, Jake reads a gruesome, enthralling piece penned by janitor Harry Dunham. 50 years ago, Harry somehow survived his father's sledgehammer slaughter of his entire family. Jake is blown away, but an even more bizarre secret comes to light when Jake's friend Al, owner of the local diner, enlists Jake to take over the mission that has become his obsession, to prevent the Kennedy assassination. How? By stepping through a portal in the diner's storeroom, and into the era of Ike and Elvis, of big American cars, sock hops, and cigarette smoke. Finding himself in warm-hearted Jody, Texas, Jake begins a new life, but all turns in the road lead to a troubled loner named Lee Harvey Oswald. The course of history is about to be rewritten and become heart-stoppingly suspenseful. So yeah, this is a doorstopper. I think it'll be one of those books. I have this in Needful Things that I think I'm going to just read throughout the year, so I'm not going to dedicate like a month to this. I'm going to read it the way I did The Stand and just like really drag it out because sometimes doorstoppers can be a little overwhelming to try and read all in one go. So very, very excited about this. I have seen the Hulu TV series. It's very, very good, but I've heard the book is just a million times better, so super stoked on that. Then I picked up Bone Harvest by James Brogden. I think it's Brogden. This is supposed to be like folk horror and culty. I've heard some interesting things about this. The cover really spoke to me, so I don't really know anything about this author, but I am very excited to kind of dive in. I know this is I believe his 4th novel right now, so definitely one to check out, I think. So it says, you shall reap what you sow. Struggling with the effects of early onset dementia, Denny Keeling now leads a quiet life. Her husband is dead, her children are grown, and her best friend Sarah was convicted of murdering her abusive husband. After Sarah's tragic death in prison, Denny has found solace in her allotment, and all she wants is to be left to tend it in peace. Life remains quiet for 12 years until 3 strangers take on a nearby plot and Denny starts to notice unnatural things. Shadowy figures prowl at night, plants flower well before their time, and then Sarah appears bringing dire warnings and vanishing after delving after daubing symbols on the walls in Denny's own blood. Denny soon realizes that she is face to face with an ancient evil, but with her dementia steadily growing worse, who is going to believe her? So this just seems really unique and fun. It's definitely one of those books, like, I've heard so much, like, chatter about this author kind of on, like, Reddit and, like, Goodreads, so I really just want to check him out. I thought I would start with one of his newer books so I can just kind of see where his rating is, and then if I really like it, I can go back and find some of his other books. I know that this one isn't as highly rated as, I think, what is it, like Helga's Children or The Hollow Tree. But yeah, so definitely excited for this. Okay, next up is Stephen King's Dr. Sleep. I've actually ended up seeing a lot of movies and shows that are based on the book before reading the books this time. Usually I try and do it the reverse, like I really try to go out of my way to make sure I read the book before I see the adaptation, but the movies and the TV series kind of convinced me to try and read the books this time. So this one is Dan Torrance is a man now, but ghosts of the Overlook and his father's legacy of alcoholism and violence kept him drifting for decades. Now sustained by an AA community in a New Hampshire town, Dan comforts the dying at a nursing home where they call him Dr. Sleep. Before his remnant power can fade forever, Dan meets 12-year-old Abra Stone, whose spectacular gift pulls him into an epic war with an otherworldly tribe that reignites Dan's own demons and summons him to the battle for the young girl's soul and survival. So if you don't know, this is the sequel to The Shining. I really, really love The Shining. It's one of my favorite things that Stephen King has ever written, so definitely stoked to read the sequel because I did really enjoy the movie and I've heard this book is great. Okay, just a few more, guys. So then I picked up The Narrows by Ronald Malfi. I have read Snow and Bone White by Malfi and loved both of them, so I really want to read as much of his stuff as possible because, as I've mentioned, his books tend to go out of print. He's not the most popular author, he's kind of like this underground author, so I really, really want to get my hands on as much of his work as possible. And this, I think, is a vampire book, so I liked his twist on zombies, I liked his twist on, like, the Wendigo or whatnot, so I'm excited to read his twist on vampires. And this is the town of Stillwater has a very unwelcome resident. The town of Stillwater has been dying. The long painful death of a town ravaged by floods and haunted by the ghosts of all who have lived there. Yet this most recent flood has brought something with it, a creature that nests among the good folks of Stillwater and feeds off them. The children who haven't disappeared whisper the same word, vampire, but they're wrong. What has come to Stillwater is something much more horrific. So even the back of the book alone tells you, like, it's a vampire story, but it's not really a vampire story, which is something that I like that Malfi does. So really, really stoked on this. And it's a pretty short read. I think I can get through it pretty quickly, so that's great. And unlike The Narrows, Carrying Comfort is probably not going to be that short of a read. This is just under 800 pages, I believe. This is by Dan Simmons, the guy who wrote The Terror, which I did read last year. That is now a TV series that I am currently watching because I did read the book first. But Dan Simmons is really famous for his historical horror. Like, he likes to take historical events and add the supernatural to them. And I've had many, many people recommend Carrying Comfort and Summer of Night by Dan Simmons. I do have Summer of Night up here, and that is on my TBR list for very soon, but I did just pick this one up. So this is The Past. Caught behind the lines of Hitler's final solution, Saul Lasky is one of the multitudes destined to die in the notorious Chelmno extermination camp, until he rises to meet his fate and finds himself face to face with an evil far older and far greater than the Nazis themselves. The present. Compelled by the encounter to survive at all costs, so begins a journey that for Saul will span decades and cross continents. Plunging into the darkest corners of 20th century history to reveal a secret society of beings who throughout the age may exist behind the world's most horrible and violent events. Killing from a distance and by darkly manipulative proxy, they are people with the psychic ability to use humans, read their minds, subjugate them to their wills, experience through their senses, feed off their emotions, force them to acts of unspeakable aggression. Each year, three of the most powerful of this hidden order meet to discuss their triumphs of induced bloodshed and deliberate destruction. But at this reunion, something will go terribly wrong. Saul's quest is about to reach its elusive object, drawing hunter and hunted alike into a struggle that will plumb the depths of mankind's attraction to violence and determine the future of the world itself. So right there, that actually gives you a really good insight into Dan Simmons' writing style. He is very descriptive and wordy in all the best ways. I'm so excited about this. Yeah, so Nazi vampires and vampires creating all of the violent historical events in the world is kind of the gist that I get from this. I've heard this book is great, creepy, disturbing, super fun, super well written, so very excited about that. So my last two books, I have Horror Store by Grady Hendrix, which was Grady Hendrix's breakout novel. So let's see, there's nothing on the back. So this one says, something strange is happening at the Orsk Furniture Store in Cleveland, Ohio. Every morning employees arrive to find broken curing bookshelves, shattered glands, water goblets, sorry, everything is like written strangely, it's like all written like IKEA furniture, and smashed Leary Pip wardrobes. Sales are down, security cameras reveal nothing, and store managers are panicking. To unravel the mystery, 3 employees volunteer to work a 9-hour dusk till dawn shift. In the dead of night, they'll patrol the empty showroom floor, investigate strange sights and sounds, and encounter horrors that defy the imagination. A traditional haunted house story in a thoroughly contemporary setting, Horror Store is designed to retain its luster and natural appearance for a lifetime of use. Pleasingly proportioned with generous French flaps and a softcover binding, Horror Store delivers the psychological terror you need in the elegant package you deserve. So it's basically haunted house story if the haunted house was like in an IKEA. So like as you can see, the inside of this book looks quite a lot like an IKEA manual. I've heard this book is fabulous. I really liked the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires and My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. I really, really like his writing style, so I'm really excited to get this going. Okay, and last but not least is the Chestnut Man, which is by Soren Swistrup. I'm not sure how to say it. This is part of my dive into reading Nordic noir. I read Let the Right One In earlier, and I've heard really cool things about this book, so I'm really, really interested in it. And I've never heard of this author before, but I got this at Politics and Prose, which is a really cool bookstore in DC, and this was one of their highlighted books in their thriller section, so I wanted to pick it up. And the premise is, a psychopath is terrorizing Copenhagen. His calling card is a chestnut man, a handmade doll composed of matchsticks and 2 chestnuts, which he leaves at each bloody crime scene. Examining the dolls, forensics make a shocking discovery, a fingerprint belonging to a young girl, a government minister's daughter who had been kidnapped and murdered a year ago. Tragic coincidence or something more twisted? To save innocent lives, a pair of detectives must put aside their differences to piece together the Chestnut Man's gruesome clues, because it's clear that the madman is on a mission and no one is safe. So I'm really excited about this. I like serial killers. I read a lot of serial killer documentaries. I read a lot of books on serial killers, fictional and real. So this to me seems right up my alley. I like that it's set in Copenhagen. Copenhagen is on my list of places I would really love to visit, especially once this pandemic is over. So very stoked on that. All right, okay, so there's 10 books for my monthly book haul and then some fun book goodies. Yeah, I have a lot to read. I'm going to try and get through all of these as soon as possible. Some I am putting more towards the front of my TBR, some towards the back, just because of the themes, and I like to read books that either go with the seasons or go with the holidays, so I am going to organize them that way. But yeah, hopefully I will get some wrap-ups and some reviews on a lot of these books very, very soon. I will try and do hauls every time I have like a good chunk of books to haul. I don't always buy this many, but it was Christmas and I got a lot of gift cards and stuff, so that's where all these books came from. Alright, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy these videos, please hit that like and subscribe button down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one.